Welcome to a 3v3 on Rzhev Winter. It's another Stomach Battalion game. Mortar and Rifleman and Sally Twig again against Protectos, Austin.what, and Klula Sophie Net. And I'm not really familiar with any of these players, except for the two Stomach Battalion players that I've already cast, of course. So I guess we'll see what happens. We've got Triple Over Commando West and the South bases, as well as... is that Triple Soviets? No, Silent Twig playing as US Forces immediately picks Airborne as well. Mortar and Rifleman both playing as Soviets. Stern Pioneers making their way across the South, taking control of the fuel and victory points. Meanwhile, the Allies have yet to make it to their fuel, actually. A little bit slow to go over there. Oh no, never mind. I didn't see that Combat Engineer Squad. The minimap. The minimap is very mini now. Sometimes I miss some stuff. Combat Engineers over here grabbing that strategic point as well, and there's going to be an engagement for the center quite soon. In fact, there's already a battle group headquarters going up from Austin.what, and he's purchasing that very early. That was his second purchase. He got Folks Grenadiers and then that, and then a second squad of Folks Grenadiers thereafter, so very quick to get that battle group headquarters out. And in a 3v3 you can definitely afford to do that, because your teammates will kind of probably do a little safety buffer. You don't need to worry too much about falling behind the way you would in a 1v1 or maybe even in a 2v2. Those Stern Pioneers just charged over red cover. Those Riflemen, I don't think they can win that. And you will be forced to retreat those. Silent Twig emerges from that engagement victorious, but down here there's another Stern Pio squad as well as a Kuba wagon waiting for him to approach. If he gets these two rifle squads a little bit too close to each other, that's gonna lose him. Ugh. Why do I always sneeze when I'm casting now? That's like the third video I've done that in now. He's probably gonna lose this engagement, is what I was saying. Meanwhile, it looks like things are getting pretty intense over here on the right side. Kuba wagon is pushing up, but unfortunately he wasn't really in a position to take on two Soviets at the same time. His Kuba wagon might even go down to Mortar's Penal Battalion squad, but it is speeding away quite quickly on the road. No lucky penetrating shots on that Penal Battalion, unfortunately. I think those Folks Grenadiers might get away. They are in red cover, and they do get away just barely. I think that if Mortar had chased or blocked, he probably could have wiped that. But he tried to go for the increased accuracy from holding still, thinking that would be enough. But unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough to finish off that squad. Meanwhile, things are not going well for the American player. Every single time I cast a 3v3 with these guys, an American is forced to take on two Axis by himself, and it never really ends all that well. While a mix of Soviets takes on one poor Axis guy by themselves. Which puts the American in a nasty position. Silent Twig trying to do the best he can in a nasty situation. He gets some BARs on his Riflemen. He's also gone with 4 rifle squads, and probably going to get a captain. But I'm not sure. Looks like the Allies are a little behind on fuel because of the engagement that happened over there on the right side, so the Lieutenant would be hitting the field a little bit late. But a quick utility car would definitely go a long way for this American player, as he's up against only battle group headquarter tech. Not a single one of these Over Commando West players went with mechanized regiment headquarters, which seems strange to me. 3v3, trying to play without a Stuka could be challenging. Mortar circling around with his clown car. He does see the Rakettenwerfer in this building. Ooh. And now I don't know what he is doing. I have no idea why he's not trying to get that out of there. Oh man, I don't think he could have gotten luckier in that there. That Rakettenwerfer, he got a main gun destroyed crit and it hit the ground. Meanwhile, over here, his teammate is doing nasty damage to those repairing Stern Pioneers, forcing them away. Satchel will go into this building, probably destroying it. The Reckenwerfer is way too slow to react. There it goes. Completely levels the building. Meanwhile, the scout car has pulled back for some repairs over here. We also have a mortar hitting the field. As for the American player, it looks like whatever he was doing has failed, and he's now healing up in the base. His lieutenant is just now hitting the field. Really late lieutenant. That being said, their fuel income is not good. Only 17 coming in. And the bar upgrade, of course, and grenade package actually is probably a large part of that. He's blobbing straight into that Kuba wagon, but he should be able to win with the just raw damage. Oh, abandoned. Raw damage of his BARs. He may be thinking about trying to recover that Kuba wagon, but no, that's definitely not going to happen. He should probably try and destroy it while he's got the chance, but he can't while suppressed. And he really could have used smoke in that engagement. If you're going to blob that hard, you really need to use smoke. Otherwise, what just happens. Lieutenant's trying to force a retreat by killing the officer model, but it's not working. So he pulls back. Meanwhile, over here on the right, looks like things aren't going very well for the orange bad guy. Although he does manage to wipe that out. Once again, Mortar's scout car driving leaves a little bit to be desired. He definitely needed to not be floundering around in these trees. If he had circled around here, he would have been able to take that Kuba wagon out no problem. His teammate also didn't really support him very well in that engagement, and just kind of slowly moving his way up. However, a field gun is on its way to try and take out the battle group headquarters with Maxim support. Quite a good amount of Maxim support, in fact. So, not sure he's going to be able to survive this push, especially if Mortar fields a bunch of forces to assist, although currently it looks like he's working with 3 penal battalions and 2 shock troop squads. Yeah, so that will definitely destroy everything over here very easily. Although that field gun can't get too aggressive. I think it's in range of this thing, and once it completes, he could lose it. Should probably pull back and wait for his teammate to arrive. If they continue to attack one at a time and lose the engagements, then that is extremely bad. I think he's going to lose that field gun. Put it on the road. And this Maxim wasn't available. He wasn't in position to help at all. That was a horrible push by a rifleman. Preceded by a pretty bad push by that scout car. So, not going well over here on the right side, despite being double teamed. He's actually winning. Meanwhile, Silent Twig is doing terrible, as predicted. There's really no way he could possibly bust through 2 people by himself. Mortar has arrived to try to redeem himself. Looks like a pretty good push, but unfortunately the flak truck has been constructed. That being said, that was a devastating grenade on that machine gun. The field gun has also been wiped. He needs to utilize smoke if there's going to be any chance of recovering that, but he's not. I don't know what he's doing. Meanwhile, penal battalions are circling around the left side to attempt to take out the Kuba wagon. Those shock troops are just committing suicide though. There they go. Oh no, he got in range of the flak thing again. He should have stayed behind this truck where it wouldn't have had an angle on him, and he shouldn't have thrown that satchel charge either. That was a waste. Actually, I take that back. The MG34 was destroyed by that satchel, so if that was his intention, then nice play, but if he wanted to destroy the truck, that certainly was not going to happen. He needed to throw 2, and he didn't have the munitions to do because of that grenade he threw. Probably would have been better to just double satchel it and destroy the truck entirely rather than throw that grenade, but kind of hard to say whether that would have worked or not.
Supply hub getter is ready for orders. Mission accomplished.
Meanwhile, the American is making a push to the center. Things aren't necessarily going all that well.
Pioneers reporting for duty.
Extreme winter conditions are affecting the lines. All units are to take immediate action.
And the Axis are pretty dug in now. They don't have much anti-tank though. Austin.What has none, especially because he went with flak half-track. He's definitely going to need to start thinking about Panzerschreck soon. He is grabbing a Raketenwerfer, but he only has one Volksgrenadier squad and a bunch of Panzer Fusiliers. So he does have the AT grenade, although it's kind of unreliable because it's bugged and expensive for Oberkommando West. Protectos has gotten himself an infantry half-track, which is kind of in a far back position. I don't think it could possibly provide any intelligence from where it is right now. I guess a little bit here on this ice. Can't even reach that field gun from where it's currently positioned, however. And I think he could probably afford to move it up a little. I mean, there is a flak truck right there. And another one going up right here. This is going to be a tough position for the Allies to break through without a lot of armor at this point. They could attack where their opponent is weak over here, however. If they were to triple team this area, I'm not sure that it would survive. But that would not be easy to mobilize a significant force over there. Ooh, looks at the mine in the snow there. Nice mine, that was going to force that Lux back. Those combat engineers would have been forced to retreat if not for that mine. American blob over here is doing pretty well, almost wiping a Volksgrenadier squad, making a push for this fuel. And it's actually a pretty light defense over here. The flak truck is not in position to assist.
Enemy infantry!
Although the half-track is moving up. The AT gun is moving up as well. Could take out that Kubelwagen. Misses his first shot, and it is going to get decrewed by those Panzer Fusiliers on the flank. And the Kubelwagen suppresses the rest of the riflemen. Again, could have utilized smoke to help him advance. We do, however, have paratroopers hitting the field. In addition to a stolen MG-34, he should be able to win this engagement against these charging Axis infantry, which honestly I'm not sure what he was thinking there. He's also getting that flak half-track into unusually close range. Looks like an AT grenade is going to go off here. There it goes, bringing it down to about half health. Flak half-track is firing on the rifleman, yet for some reason he retreated those paratroopers, which were his biggest source of damage against it. That being said, the MG-34 could be sufficient to take it out in addition to the BAR on the lieutenant. It's going to be really close. He needs to switch targets to the lieutenant and stop firing at the machine gun. The machine gun was pinned. Actually, honestly, I don't think he could have... I think that was a lose-lose. He probably should have tried to pull that back a lot earlier. He just didn't have the firepower he thought he did, I guess. And he also needed to set it up farther away and earlier. He was kind of driving it around randomly there in the middle of that engagement. He definitely could have done that engagement a lot better. T-34 moving up on the left side. Needs to be careful about driving it around on ice. It looks like some Sturm Pioneers just committed suicide attempting to steal that AT gun. I think that's what just happened.
This is it.
Maybe not, I'm not sure. That lieutenant is committing suicide. Okay, so much for that lieutenant. Meanwhile, Mortar's T-34 is doing great damage to that Lux, which really needs to pull him back. I don't know why he's just leaving that there under T-34 fire, and it gets taken out. Meanwhile, Mortar's penal battalions are taking really heavy damage on their advance, but his shock troops are tearing through pretty much everything. Looks like he's going to try to prioritize the Obersoldaten, and now he's calling in some sort of artillery, I think. An incendiary artillery strike, try and clear out some of those infantry. Unfortunately, he didn't focus fire those Obersoldaten when he had the chance, leaving them at pretty much full health, and took a lot of damage on his shock troops. But pretty much regardless of how he had microed them, there's no way he could have won that engagement. There's just way too much stuff. But I think he traded relatively cost effectively. I don't think he lost any full squads. Although he almost did. And his T-34 only just barely made it away. And he did take out the Lux, so that was actually definitely a win for him. Despite taking on 2 armies simultaneously, he did quite well. Obersoldaten gets suppressed by something. I can't believe this American player has not produced an ambulance. His troops are extremely wounded, and it's costing him this engagement. Fighting in red cover doesn't really help either. Ooh, nasty Shrek snipe there. Grenade going out does nothing. Volksgrenadiers trying to hold the line, but there's just way too much stuff for them to try and take on. And he really should have just charged and closed the distance, but I guess he didn't want to get shot by whatever was waiting around the corner. But that single Volksgrenadier squad just bled him pretty hard. And that Ober squad is probably going to be more than enough to stop whatever might think about pushing. Silent Fig really needs to get an ambulance. Wait, what? He has an ambulance. I don't know why his troops are so wounded, though. He probably should move that ambulance up to his forward position and keep his troops healed in the field. Oh well.
Crowd's taking pot shots at us! Taking crowd fire!
T-34 is getting repaired.
Ready!
AT gun pulling back for some much needed healing, and it looks like Mortar is going to prepare for another big push on the left side. I'm kind of surprised that they stopped pushing the right side. Our opponents were pretty weak over here.
Enemy infantry!
And attacking the middle probably would not work. There's a second T-34 from Rifleman. As far as Silent Twig, I'm not sure if they have any armor yet.
Reinforcements in.
Oh, no major either. But he has 300 fuel. Not sure why he's not making any tanks. Oh, that bundle grenade was devastating on those shock troops. He really needs to retreat. No! Just lost that full squad senselessly, and he's crawling around in the fire. I think that's his own incendiary artillery strike. Pretty much just dropped it on himself. I think he definitely could have targeted that a little bit better. Those penal battalions are going to get wipes too if he doesn't retreat them right now. Definitely could have done that engagement a little bit better. Meanwhile, this Jagdpanzer's moving up, trying to take out his T-34, but his teammates' T-34s are moving up to assist, dealing a ton of damage to its rear armor, trapping it, and can't possibly survive that. There it goes. Oh man, if they just keep blobbing across this road, they're just gonna take tons of casualties. Jeez. Forcing a full retreat yet again. more paratroopers getting called in. There is a Panther on the field. AT gun gets cleared. Allies really need to time their engagements better. They continue to engage their opponent one at a time. All of Rifleman's forces are AFK on the right side, which they should not be. They really need to be doing something, applying pressure somewhere. That being said, this guy's forces are also all AFK on the right side, as well as pretty much the majority of the units on the field are actually just sitting around. Pretty much everybody is guilty of that, so I guess that's pointless to point that out on one player's part. But if the Allies would muster all of their forces in a coordinated push on one location on the map, they would almost certainly be able to break through. I think particularly the right side looks quite weak, but the left side is more strategically important. They need to grab that fuel point in VP. They could probably grab this middle victory point as well if they made a push across like several different angles. A miraculous artillery strike on this purple blob would certainly go a long way as well, although Rifleman and Mortar have both chosen incendiary artillery doctrines. Ooh! That American blob just melted those Obersoldaten. I can't believe he hasn't retreated yet. He has no chance of winning this. All those VARs and LMGs. Way too much DPS to take on. A new Jagdpanzer has been fielded. In addition to the Panther, it should be quite good. Wow, Mortar is floating resources like crazy. He really needs to spend his manpower on something. Probably field guns to help take on his armor. Pretty light engagements happening on all parts of the map right now. If the Allies don't step up their game, they're not gonna win this. They really need to like make a big coordinated push together. Tanks have been repaired. Rifleman has 3 T-34s. Mortar's got 1. Looks like he's saving up for an IS-2 as far as fuel and not going to produce any more medium tanks. Again, he needs to spend his manpower, shock troops, field guns, anything. Silent Twig still has 240 fuel. He's finally producing a Jackson, which is much needed. Oh, that Panther's taking heavy damage from a big armored push by Riflemen. Incendiary artillery getting dropped, and like I've mentioned before, that just melts Raketenwerfers instantly. Meanwhile, they're taking kind of heavy damage from the Schwer Panzer headquarters. They are sort of rampaging through the area, trying to take out infantry, dealing lots of casualties to the purple blob, but if they don't pull back, he risks losing another T-34. And there it goes, but fortunately, it looks like Mortar had the presence of mind to move his AT gun up and fire on the Schwer Panzer headquarters during all of his fighting, and did massive damage to it, eventually taking it out with the T-34's help. Of course, this T-34 remains in the engagement, trying to continue to inflict losses. It's up to 15 kills now in Bet 2. Once the Raketenwerfer gets regrouped, Rifleman decides to pull back, cut his losses, get that repaired, and go in for another one. Overall, a somewhat successful push. He lost 2 T-34s, so I don't think he actually traded particularly cost effectively, but taking down the Schwer HQ is definitely a big plus. Apparently a demo charge went off over here at some point. I missed it. I don't know what it got. Those Obersoldaten have taken a ton of damage from a mine. And they might get wiped by those conscripts. Filtration grenades going out, unfortunately. Bring them down to 1 model, and then the Obersoldaten squad finishes them off. Definitely could have moved his
Operations
Maxim
advises a
orders
severe
to
cold
help in that
front is
engagement.
moving in. Prepare for possible blizzard conditions.
Jackson's on the field, and Mortar's IS-2 has also arrived. Fresh squad of shock troops also coming in to try and keep his manpower down. Silent Twig still has 300 fuel that he could be spending on vehicles, but he is focusing very heavily on infantry. He's just blobbing like crazy. High explosive barrage forces a retreat from those Volksgrenadiers. Looks like I got a few models. The Oversoldon retreated a while ago. So the right side of fuel will fall back into Allied hands. But again, they really need to get these victory points under control. Ooh. Those shock troops just got destroyed.
Be advised, extreme winter conditions are affecting the lines. All units are to take immediate action.
An anti-tank battery is ready for deployment.
Oh, Stuka's on the field.
Is complete. Enemy eliminated.
So much for that ambulance. He's just standing in a blizzard.
Prepare for X.
There he goes.
The feather is inflicting losses. Supply half-track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post. The cold front is building. Troops are freezing.
Orders incoming!
Second Jackson being produced by Silent Twig.
Walk over here. We're back to full strength.
Really stalemating right now.
Tank destroyer is ready for action.
Ground's ours. Now spread out.
OPs report the weather is lifting. Stand by for confirmation.
Yeah, I definitely think the Allies are feeling their lack of indirect fire right now. No indirect fire units at all have been produced by the Allies, which is part of why it's so difficult for them to crack open these defensive positions. They don't even have any. Well, I guess I have this mortar, but I mean, it's not really being used very offensively. Soviet heavy mortars, a priest if the American had gone infantry, Katyushas. All of these things would be really useful. That purple player just lost 2 full squads to this blob of shocks. He was way too slow to retreat there. They're all getting suppressed. Not throwing any smoke to break suppression. Pinned, taking massive damage. He needs to retreat. That he's too busy microing his tanks. Moving up for their next big push. Squad's gonna get wiped any second. There it goes. Jackson's move up to bolster the damage against that Schwer HQ. This coordinated push by the Allies should be able to take it out quite quickly. Massive damage. Look at that. It's going to go down very soon. Next volley should be sufficient. Building with Raketenwerfer goes down. Jackson's finished off the Schwer Panzer headquarters. Stuka barrage is going off, but it does not hit anything. And we also have what looks like zeroing artillery coming in. Yep, that's what that is. And Mortar is just sitting in the zeroing artillery. He does take out a Kuba wagon. I think he might lose that shock troop squad. Those shock troops need to retreat as well. He does get clear of his strike zone. Just in time. Oh! Squad wipe with the IS-2 on the retreat. Look at that. Those Obersoldaten are dealing massive damage to those paratroopers on their approach. They haven't even really taken any damage yet. One paratrooper squad forced to retreat and drops an LMG. They really need to throw a grenade to win this. Oh, their grenade just bugged out and did nothing. Thank you, Relic, for that bug. That one's great. One of my favorites, I think. Incendiary artillery getting called in over here. And he's just gonna stand in it apparently. And there goes that full squad.
Forward elements report.
Go for two. No, that one's going to survive, just barely. And Mortar will be forced to retreat with those shock troops. Please retreat. What are you doing? There he goes. More infantry moving up to try and screen his shock troops retreat over here, drawing the machine gun fire. Looks like they will get away. Barely. Yeah, Panzer just missed a shot against those Jacksons at point blank range. There it goes. I think one Jackson may go down here. Yeah, Panzer just missed again. That Panzer has got to stop missing. I think it might go down. There it goes. No chance. Panzer could definitely perform a little better for its cost. I don't know why it's so expensive. A Jackson is cheaper and like better. Oh wow, a Jagdtiger's on the field. Oh no. What's it doing? I guess it doesn't have vision. Shock troops are suppressed by a Kuba wagon, but forced to retreat from that Raketenwerfer.
Field gun standing by.
Tiger fires on the IS-2 and takes it out at max range. Wow, how did he see that? Was there a... Oh, the IR half-track, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the IR half-track just spotted for it. Maybe. Or maybe he just fired it randomly. I don't know. Not sure what gave him vision there. Oh, no! Oh, that whole American blob just got blasted by that Stuka. That was devastating. He didn't even try to dodge that. I'm not even sure he saw what just happened, and he's about to get wiped by Obersoldaten. Oh no! Everything is dead except for a paratrooper squad. And the stuff he has standing over here. By the way, these two squads have been standing on this victory point for like the whole game. He really could be making better use of that infantry. P-47, however, did just get called in on the Jagdtiger. Oh, lots of rockets going off there on the Stuka and Jagdtiger. One of the P-47s, however, does get shot down. Meanwhile, we've got a big force of shock troops moving up in addition to two Jacksons and a T-34 over there on the other flank. That Stuka is like phasing through this under construction truck. That truck is definitely not going to complete. He chose a terrible time to try and build that with shock troops on the way. The P-47 takes out the Stuka. A Stuka dive bomb is getting called in somewhere. I have no idea where that's falling. That, whatever, I blew something up, I guess.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
Actually, none of them even have access to a Stuka dive bomb, so I don't know what that noise even was. Honestly, I don't have any idea what just happened there. Shock troops continue their rampage, wiping a squad. Now they're going to wipe out this infantry support gun. They just caught another truck setting up. Why does he keep trying to set up his truck next to shock troops? I'm not sure if Mortar is going to have the presence of mind to go prevent that. He easily... No, he probably can't with those Obersoldaten right there. Or at least it'll be very costly. This could come down to good usage of grenades. Oh no, he's getting shredded. Oh, he retreats as soon as he sees those overs, and he still loses a full squad. Fortunately, they're in heavy snow and won't very easily be able to chase. I think he'll get away. Maybe. Yeah, he got away. Meanwhile, on the left side, it looks like everything just got annihilated by his teammates. Battle Group Headquarters goes down. Shock troops have recovered a Panzerschreck, more shock troops. And the Jacksons supporting are really powerful. Looks like the American blob has reconstituted itself a little bit. Oh no, that IS-2 is driving right over the ice next to a flak truck. Get off that ice.
IS-2 heavy tanks are now available to crush the enemy.
Allies made a hugely successful push. Now it's just a matter of keeping up the pressure, taking out more trucks, and hopefully taking out that Jagdtiger, because it's going to be a long time before this game ends with the current victory point situation. Oh! Nice grenade there. Incendiary artillery getting called in.
Unit ready.
Jagdtiger's about to be fully repaired.
Bring the gun around. We have some good crew. Enemy fire! The enemy has 300 points remaining.
IS-2 is taking on that black truck, pretty much unopposed. P-47 gets called in on the Jagdtiger, and the stray rockets are dealing massive damage to the battle group headquarters and surrounding infantry. Shock troops moving up to take shots on the various infantry are getting shredded low. Needs to retreat that squad or it's gonna get wiped. There it goes. Yeah, it's dead. P-47 continues to fire on that Jagdtiger, which is pushing forward regardless to fire on the Jacksons. One Jackson gets sunk in the ice right there. Meanwhile, desperately attempting to reinforce damage from a massive Allied or American blob. The Obersoldaten, however, are shredding that rifle squad, and that gets melted pretty much instantly. This one's going to be soon to follow if he's not more careful with those infantry. What's he doing? This American player loses so many squads. It's painful for me to watch. All those paratroopers gone to waste. Oh well, he'll just make more, I guess. KV-8 being produced over here by riflemen, continuing to apply pressure from this angle. This battle group headquarters is somehow still alive. I think that engagement went horribly for Silent Twig, though, losing all but one of his Jacksons and a ton of infantry. Oh no, all but two of his Jacksons. Actually, this is a fresh Jackson, so yeah, he's just continuing to crank out tanks after losing them. He's lost a lot of stuff. Mortar moving up, grenade going out. There's no imaginable way he's gonna put even a small dent in this. He does follow that up with an incendiary artillery strike, hoping to at least inflict a little bit of casualties on his opponent, and is successful, taking out a total of 5 models between those two squads and wiping a Raket Morpher. So the manpower bleed on Austin Dawa continues. Oh, and the Jackson pulls up and finishes that off. Meanwhile, the Jagdpanzer tries to retaliate, but misses for whatever reason. And that gets cooked off somehow. Oh wow, Rifleman has a Vet 3 T-34 with 31 kills. Look at that. Oh geez, he almost was lost though. That Jagdtiger is proving to be quite a nuisance for the Allies. 4 kills now. 3 of them are vehicles. Mostly Jacksons and now KV-2 or KV-8 as well. Mortar moving up finally to make a push on the right side, which is, like I've said, pretty much the entire game. Very lightly defended. Easily wipes out that Raket Morpher with the KV-8. Astuka's firing somewhere. Field gun gets killed. I don't know if that got anything other than a field gun. I don't think so. Oh wait, there was I guess that's a major. I think there's a dead major right there. He just got Stuka. Mortar is successful in taking out his opponent's battlegroup headquarters. He then pulls back from the Jagdpanzer, but he has a lot of support on the way. He has a fresh IS-2 moving up, and his teammates Jacksons make quick work of that Jagdpanzer. The IS-2 should be more than enough to take on these infantry. Oh, what happened there? Oh, I think the Jagdtiger strikes again. One-shotting Jacksons left and right. Meanwhile, there's a huge blob of shock troops making its way across the left side. Incendiary artillery gets dropped as well, and he is going to attempt to just steamroll everything, but unfortunately for him, a fresh flak HQ has been constructed, and this machine gun is proving to be a bit of a nuisance as well, although the incendiary artillery does manage to take it out. This squad has to retreat, and he actually retreats everything. Which probably makes sense, because with just shock troops, he really has no way of destroying this. But his teammates Jacksons are on the way to support here on the left once again. Salentwig pretty much spending the entire game with his Jacksons just sniping trucks. Just driving up, sniping the truck, and then losing 1 or 2 Jacksons to the Ag Tiger when he pulls back. As far as the victory points, it looks like the Axis are going to take the center again, and the clock will start ticking against the Allies once more. I don't really know what the bug is that causes the blue numbers to be on the red bar and the red numbers to be on the blue bar, but it makes things really confusing for me to know like which side has what. Big push for the left side now. That IS-2 is taking massive damage and is trying to get to safety, pulling around behind that shack and getting clear just barely in time. Meanwhile, the Jacksons managed to snipe the flak HQ. The Yag Tiger is moving up to retaliate. I think it's firing on infantry. He doesn't have vision on any of those vehicles. The paratroopers should be able to take the victory point. There's not anything over here that can stop them, except for a Kuba wagon, although infantry is moving up to support. Vet 2 paratroopers in yellow cover should be able to beat these Obersoldaten on the approach. Maybe. But with BAR, Vet 5 BAR Panzer Fusiliers, there's not much they can do. Lots more infantry moving up as well. And the Kuba wagon is going to force a retreat from those. Meanwhile, Mortar moving up with more shock troops over here, but these 2 Obersoldaten squads have been really devastating. And I don't think he's watching his shock troop squad. There it goes. He wasn't paying attention. Protectos is floating resources like crazy. His tech structures have been getting destroyed. I'm not sure which one he hasn't produced yet this game. Can't get a King Tiger though. He went Fortifications Doctrine, so could throw up some Pack 43s. He could throw up the tech structures he hasn't built yet and try and get that KT out. I mean, he should have probably made a King Tiger a long time ago. It's 43 minutes into the game. Hasn't really spent any of his resources at all. That being said, there is plenty of fuel float going on the Allied side of the map too. 300 for Rifleman, although he doesn't really have any heavy late game tanks available to him. 200 for Mortar, who is obviously saving up for his next IS-2. 230 for Salentwig, who has been cranking out a lot of Jacksons. I mean, in all fairness, he's making them about as fast as he can. Just trying to keep up with his manpower bleed on all of his infantry squads, I guess.
Cops report the weather is lifting. Stand by for confirmation.
Infantry gets forced to retreat over there on the right side. Big armored push by the Allies once again. Jacksons will be able to blast this truck in no time. The Yag Tiger is nowhere nearby to support, and it's not even moving to support. Instead, just firing on shock troops here in the center. The flak truck gets destroyed pretty much immediately by all of this Allied armor, although the infantry push towards the center was forced away. That looks like it was a pretty devastating incendiary artillery barrage, though, killing everything. Vet 5 Fusiliers making their way to the front line, but they get way too close to those shock troops and they're getting cut to shreds. Grenade going out as well. Doesn't really do anything though. And the Obersoldaten are going to force those shocks to retreat and wipe them.
A squad of infantry has been killed.
Recon pass coming in.
We are losing territory.
I guess they're looking for a weak spot that they can attack with their mass tanks.
Has 100 points remaining.
So Obersoldaten force away some paratroopers there.
Secure. Watch the advantage.
100 points remaining. IS-2 moving up with Jackson support on the left side. There's an S-mine field there. That's not going to do anything against these tanks. The IS-2 forces a quick retreat from that squad. The Jacksons are focus firing infantry though. They will need to switch targets. They don't have vision though. And they're taking a ton of damage, although yet another Volksgrenadier squad gets wiped. And we, it looks like, what is that, zeroing artillery again? Oh no, it's an incendiary strike? I don't know why they called that in there. No, that was weird.
Attention!
Meanwhile, there's a lot of Obersoldaten on this center point. Wow. KV-8 doing what it can against this Obersoldaten. They will be forced to retreat. Another big armor push on the left side. Apparently a demo charge got planted right there at some point. That Jackson got way too close and gets obliterated, but the KV-8s are just annihilating everything. Ooh, the Ag Tiger is well positioned for this engagement though, and the Panther is also, this fresh Panther is definitely going to be a problem. That KV-8 gets destroyed immediately, but Mortar's 2 IS-2s are moving up to support as well. The Volksgrenadiers are getting forced back. What is that Ag Tiger doing? Oh no! I can't believe that Ag Tiger just drove across that ice. I think it could be in a really bad position now. It's going to get dazed. KV-8 is moving up to finish off those Volksgrenadiers. Flanking Jackson is on the ice. Panther is firing. This IS-2 is falling quite low, but there's also a P-47 firing. Oh no, what is that Ag Tiger doing on that ice? Oh, get off the ice. I don't even think it's going to matter. He's just taking so much damage. The KV-8's falling low now as well. The IS-2 is pulled back to safety, and I believe that the Ag Tiger has just gone down to that Jackson. Meanwhile, this Panther also getting obliterated. The IS-2 being in range of this flak truck is going to absorb the shots while these shock troops advance and kill those Volksgrenadiers, and the P-47 finishes off the Panther. I think that might have been the biggest blunder that Ag Tiger could have possibly made during that engagement. Ouch. That reminds me of that scene in Fury where a Tiger is up against 4 Shermans and decides that the very best course of action is to charge straight towards them. I liked the movie though, it was a good movie. Jagd Panzer moving up to fire on the IS-2. Actually taking shots on the Jackson. Could take it out if it doesn't reposition. Jackson is just sitting there under Jagd Panzer fire, and it goes down. The IS-2 is trying to take out those Obersoldaten, and the stolen field gun takes out a T-34. The Allies just had a hugely successful push, and then threw all their tanks away for some reason. To a field gun and a Jagd Panzer. And whatever killed this thing. Took some pretty heavy losses there, but at the very least, Mortar still has both of his IS-2s, and he's just going to continue cranking out shock troops to fill his infantry ranks. Take a look at Rifleman, he's lost everything, except for a fresh KV-8 that he just now fielded, and Silent Twig has a fresh Jackson that he just now fielded as well. So, whoops. That being said, the Axis aren't really in a position to just be hurling tanks at their enemies' lines unsupported. The Axis now have only 70 points remaining. Massive damage being inflicted on that Jagdpanzer. Yet another flak truck that's being constructed over there on the left, in the center. I can't believe how many flak trucks have been constructed and destroyed in this game. Shock troop blob circling around the south, forces away a Raketenwerfer. They can't get too close to the enemy's base defenses though. I'm not sure what he's planning to do. A lot of damage. Meanwhile, a huge push for the center by Orange player.
We have nearly won. More of our troops have been lost.
He does manage to dodge that incendiary artillery. The Axis are desperately clawing for victory points at this point. They can't afford to let them slip any lower. But if they can't get a hold of the left side victory point, this push may be for nothing, and they all just left the capture circle. He just completely left the capture circle with 13 points remaining and 2 points captured by the Allies. What was he thinking? The only way they can even imaginably come back is if he had finished capturing this. Now they're gonna lose. GG, they've lost. It's impossible for them to win now. I honestly have no idea what he was thinking there. I guess he really just wanted to kill this IS-2. That was a bit of a mistake. GG. Well, I hope you enjoyed the game. That was my second 3v3 I've ever cast, so it was pretty good. Definitely some big armored pushes by the Allies there that were fun to watch. If you did, feel free to send me replays of your own. I'm happy to do a cast. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks for watching.